feeling enormously overwhelmed right now, and have been kind of like just shaky all morning, and sometimes my anxiety just makes me, kind of jittery. Um, so I had sorry, my brain is so fried. An appointment with my psychiatrist, and she's really angry that all these years no one's really properly evaluated me for ADHD, even though I've brought it up a couple of times. And so, like, when I was a kid, if you knew someone with diagnosed ADHD, it was rare. Like, it wasn't the way it is now. Remember, I'm old. So, like, I specifically remember the one kid that had ADHD. He had it pretty severely when I went to day camp as a kid, and I remember this kid. I remember him having it because it was just something that wasn't commonly diagnosed. But we are going to try a new med, Spravato, and I feel really overwhelmed with trying a new med that I know will probably make me sick. Coming off the Prozac, which I know hasn't done anything for me in years, but still coming off of it is like a safety thing in a way for me. And knowing that I'm having ECT in a few weeks and changing meds and moving and trying to do the paperwork for, to take my medical leave and all these appointments and all these freaking copays and bills, and I just feel massively overwhelmed. I almost don't want to try the med, but at the same time, like she said, if we find that it's working, I might be able to not do ECT, you know what I mean? If it turns out a lot of this stuff stems from ADHD. A lot of people with ADHD do have depression. And one thing she did bring up, though, that was interesting was a lot of people with ADHD have impulse control, and I don't think I necessarily have that. I mean, I don't do anything kind of wild, but she did say my impulse control might be what is causing my binge eating. And I never kind of put the two together. So I feel like it is worth giving this a shot, even though it's just the timing of it is not ideal, but most things in life, timing of things is never ideal, right? So, I'm sorry if my videos are ever boring or disjointed, but my head is disjointed a lot of the time, and I do appreciate when people are able to focus and watch them, because I probably don't even have the focus to watch them myself. The other thing I wanted to talk about, let me just think what it was. Some people have come on and asked me just, if I've tried certain things, and just to give a rundown of what I have tried in my life. As I said, I've always had depression. I had symptoms long before I ever was officially diagnosed with depression, but I don't recall a time in my life when I wasn't depressed. I remember being a sad kid. I remember going through some bouts of crying and depression and everything pretty young. I'm talking like 5 years old. And the first time, I was in and out of therapy, and the first time I was medicated was when I was 19. I was put on Prozac. It helped very briefly and then stopped. And then from there, I have been to numerous therapists over the years. Not that I'm dropping therapists, I just, like, if I move or something like that, or if they retire or whatever they do. I have tried, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say, upwards of 15 medications. They either don't work, work temporarily, or they make me very sick and I have some kind of really bad side effect. I've even been gone to the ER because I've had such side effects at times. People with treatment-resistant depression often feel like a science experiment, because people keep throwing meds at you, and then they're like, well, why don't you want to try that? And you're like, because it's hell. It's hell going through this every time. It's not that you don't want to get better, but the side effects and everything is just it's anyway, I won't get into that. I have been in multiple partial hospitalization programs. At this point, I'm in one about once a year. I'd say I've been in at least 7 times, probably, in my life. I did 3 full rounds of TMS and maintenance treatment. I felt some relief from that, but it would never last longer than a couple months or so. I have tried holistic doctors. I went to a highly recommended holistic doctor. I've done acupuncture, massage, yoga, meditation, pretty much every damn thing you can think of. I'm really down to essentially ECT or ketamine at this point, and I decided to go with ECT for a few reasons. One being the ketamine is less likely to work, and I don't want to have to take off time for the ketamine from work and then have it not work and then take off time for ECT. So I feel like the ECT just has a higher probability of working. And if it does work, I will probably be on maintenance ECT indefinitely. So that's just a little bit of a background. I am 50 years old, and I have had this my entire life. But no one has ever done a proper evaluation for ADHD until this psychiatrist that I have, and she's actually pretty pissed about that. So I am going to try the med. I'm not looking forward to being sick on it, which is pretty likely I will feel sick on it. And I'll let you know if I feel any difference. But again, thank you for anyone that tolerates my long rambling videos. I really appreciate that you listen and engage and offer insight and share your stories, because we all need each other to get through these things. Okay, so Happy New Year.